5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Launch commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff with Apollo 14. 3 minutes past the hour.
NASA has been serving humanity in space expeditions for nearly 64 years, going to the moon, Mars, and many other celestial bodies. But as the future advances, what is NASA's true purpose in the years to come and benefit for humanity? In order to understand NASA's goals and effect on humanity, I contacted NASA Flight Director Brandon Lloyd, all the way down in Houston, Texas, to hear his expertise on the subject of NASA's true purpose.
There's a lot of reasons. I would say the number one is eventually this planet is going to not exist anymore. That's just how it is. Hopefully that's tens of thousands of years away, but hey, maybe it'll be uninhabitable in 100 years. And at NASA, we are really building the first steps of learning how to exist as humanity off the planet. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You know, we're the early people. 1,000 years from now, they'll be like, oh, those ancient people thought that, real cute what they were doing with their spacecraft. But you got to start somewhere, right? You're not just going to start at Star Trek. That's not going to be it. So it's really cool to be part of that initial enterprise of trying to get our species to be able to live off the planet. And now Artemis 1 launched. We're going to the moon. It's happening right now. So we got a flight control team in the white flight control room, the same one that flew the space shuttle, right now command and controlling the Orion spacecraft on its way to the moon. And we're getting ready for the Lunar Gateway space station. So we're going through design reviews for that, getting close to the point where we'll start putting operations, procedures, and flight rules together, doing simulations to get ready for that space station. We've got lunar landers on contract now because Artemis 3, we're going to actually put humans back on the surface of the moon. My favorite NASA program for me is they take a telescope and look at a star and see what passes in front of the star. And based on the relative size, the wavelength of the light, the distance of the star, et cetera, take it into account, they can tell how many planets orbit that star, how big they are, how close they are to their star, and whether or not they might be in the Goldilocks zone for supporting humanoid life. That is mind-blowing. It's a great time right now because not only do we have ISS and its crew vehicles and cargo vehicles that go back and forth, and it is busy. We're talking, you have Russian Progress cargo vehicles, you have Russian Soyuzes bringing crews, you have Crew Dragons, you have Cargo Dragons from SpaceX. JAXA, the Japanese space agency, is going to fly a new cargo vehicle called HTVX. I have flown to Moscow to work with our Russian colleagues, especially when we were developing new emergency procedures on what to do, like, hey, if the space station light's on fire, how do you respond? If you develop a cabin leak and all the air's going away, how do you respond? And then we have our cooling system on the outside is made of ammonia. And it should stay on the outside, but there is one place where it could make its way inside if all the wrong things line up. And so that's a memorized response. The crew puts on oxygen masks and they hightail it out of there. And that got completely changed when we transitioned from having crew fly on Russian Soyuzes to now having U.S. crew vehicles in the Dragon and the Starliner. And so over years, we were working with them because we all had to agree, right? Like, they're cosmonauts, our astronauts, they fly on the same capsules and they what we do affects both segments, so we have to be one team on that. The people we work with in Moscow, I mean, they're just like human beings, just like you and me. And once you get past the language barrier, I mean, it's fabulous. They're brilliant. They have very different perspectives in a lot of ways. They approach problems very differently. I've grown to really respect the Russian Space Agency and their people.
With international cooperation, the true purpose of NASA, securing humanity's survival across the stars, can slowly but surely be achieved. First to the moon, then Mars, then the rest of the solar system. And who knows from there? With continued advancement and research into the universe around us, our descendants can finally spread among the galaxy, accomplishing dreams we could never imagine.